Joining us now to discuss the digital radio landscape in 2012 is Clear Channel Media Holdings CEO Bob Pittman. So great to see you again.
Thank you, thank you.
You know, we first spoke a year ago when you were brought in to Clear Channel to sort of reinvent radio, and you told me that you thought it could be a game changer. Has it been any more difficult or easier than you thought? I mean, do you think that iHeart really can sort of change the business?
Oh yeah, well look, when you say change the business, I think for us it's additive.
Yeah.
We are today 238 million monthly listeners, digital, everybody, all the players is about 4 or 5% of the whole bag. So we got 95%. Everybody's fighting to get in the cars. We're already in the cars. It's called an FM radio. So what we're fighting for is to get that extra little piece. And yes, I think we have been a game changer. I think the idea of taking all the radio stations around the country and making them available, in addition to having custom radio all in one place, has been a great service. It's interesting, on the stations around the country, we're finding 40% of the users, now it's early preliminary, are going to stations outside their market. Now, why? Well, part of it is if they're listening inside the market, they're probably pushing the FM button. But when they do go to iHeartRadio, they have this capability, and we have this wonderful scan button. So if they're listening to Z100 in New York, they push scan. We're going to let them hear other stations like that around the country. So I think in terms of what it's doing for this company, it's teaching us that we can take this promotional power, like the iHeartRadio Music Festival, all of our radio stations talking about a product, and move it quickly. Our Facebook fans went from 80,000 fans to over 2 million, passing Pandora, passing Spotify, passing all of them in the process, which is an indication of the popularity and the interest.
Let's talk about Pandora and Spotify.
Sure.
Obviously, Pandora's been doing this for, more than 10 years. They're now on 450 different devices. Spotify now has its own algorithm for a radio service. How do you stand out in that kind of competition?
On 1 billion devices called radios. We're in 240 million cars called an FM radio, AM radio. So we already have full penetration. All the internet people, they have no way for someone to listen to the product except on the internet. So they're racing to get their primary distribution. We're using it to get ancillary distribution, which for us makes it a little easier.
So how many people have used iHeartRadio in the last 30 days?
How many people have used it in the last 30 days? I think no one has any real idea, because no one measures cum very well. All I can probably give you a good term on is how many hours we've served.
Okay.
By the way, anyone tells you they know a cum is, they got numbers we don't have. You can tell you how many hours served. What you can't tell us how many people listen. With Arbitron, you actually have a little device on your belt. If the radio's on a room and you leave the room, you're not listening anymore.
Okay.
If I'm on iHeartRadio or anybody else, by the way, all we can measure is when it's served. So if you leave the house for 4 hours, we measure 4 hours of it being served.
And the service is still ad-free. How long do you expect it will stay that way?
I think we'll keep the service free. We've got at least through April. The problem is, on iHeartRadio, we run commercials on the radio stations. People are accustomed to hearing commercials on radio. The truth is, when we say custom stations, and when Pandora does custom stations, that's not radio. That's a music collection. When I'm listening to my music collection, I have a hard time hearing commercials. When I'm on radio, Arbitron just released the number. 93% of people sit through a commercial break on the radio. You put it in my music, when I'm sort of in my own head, in my own space, I don't like it. We haven't figured it out. I think the industry's still trying to figure it out. We're not rushing it. We got a nice business. We don't have the financial need to push it early.
Now, if indeed you do start airing ads in April, as you've said, how do you see that sort of changing the mobile ad market?
Well, look, when you start going the mobile ad market, the display advertising is not going to get there. I mean, Pandora's been around a long time. The vast majority of their advertising is display advertising. I'm making much on audio ads. Well, mobile, you're going to have to make money on audio ads because there is no display. People are not watching their phone like they watch the computer screen. So somebody's going to have to figure it out. Hopefully we will. If somebody else figures out, we'll copy them. But I think everybody's working on the same issues.
Now, speaking about the broader company, how can Clear Channel continue to invest in sort of new digital revenue opportunities when you've still got $19 billion in debt?
Well, $19 billion of debt we have because it's a bunch of leveraged buyout companies bought it, and you deliberately put the debt on it. I think in terms of the business, it has little to do with the operation. That's the capital structure, and that debt is not accidental. It's deliberate debt, and that's the way they do the big deals.
And Clear Channel was taken private about 6 years ago. Are investors getting antsy for an exit at this point? Is an IPO possible in this environment?
No one has told me that's one of my goals. I think what we're trying to do is really just build a great business that's got a great momentum behind it. What's wonderful about the radio business is 93% of people listen to the radio every week, 95 for TV, 89 for the internet. We're the number 2 sector in the big media of the big 3, and we're still getting over 2 hours of usage a week. So I love radio. It's wonderful. And digital, we think, is terrific because it's one more way we can reach our audience. And if we expand it 2%, 3%, it's all extra. All
right. Well, we'll keep watching you guys. I know you have the support of a lot of amazing artists out there. Thanks so much, Bob Pittman.
Hopefully we'll see you at the next, if we have one, music festival.
I want to come to that next time.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Bob.